Snow pressed against the diner windows like a quiet prayer on Christmas Eve. The neon sign outside flickered, barely alive, much like the town itself. Inside, warmth came not from the heater, which struggled, but from the smell of coffee and fried onions. Clara wiped the counter with slow, tired strokes, her fingers cracked from cold and overwork. It had been a 12-hour shift already, and her paycheck would still fall short of rent. Her phone buzzed once in her pocket, probably another overdue reminder. She ignored it. Christmas had never waited for her anyway. The bell over the door rang softly. An old man stepped in, his coat thin, shoes worn smooth by time. Behind him followed an elderly woman, clutching his arm, her scarf faded but neatly tied. They paused, unsure, eyes scanning prices written on the board. Clara noticed how the man's shoulders sagged when he saw the menu. The woman whispered something, and he nodded, forcing a smile. They took the corner booth, sharing one menu. Clara approached with water. "What can I get you?" she asked gently. The man hesitated. "Just 2 coffees, please." Clara saw the way his hand trembled as he folded the menu shut, the way the woman's eyes lingered on a picture of roast turkey. Something tightened in Clara's chest. She thought of her own father, gone 5 winters ago, and the last Christmas they'd shared soup to make it stretch. She brought the coffees, then returned to the counter. For a moment she stared at the kitchen, at the leftover meals from the cancelled holiday party: turkey, potatoes, bread. Her manager had already left. The rules echoed in her head, loud and sharp, but another voice spoke louder. She plated the food carefully, adding a small slice of pie. When she set the meals down, the woman gasped. "We didn't order this," the man said quickly, panic flashing across his face. Clara smiled, soft but firm. "It's Christmas Eve," she said. "Dinner's on me." Tears welled in the woman's eyes. The man tried to protest, but his voice broke. They ate slowly, reverently, like it was sacred. Clara watched from afar, her heart lighter despite the emptiness in her wallet. When they finished, the couple stood. The man pressed a folded bill under the cup. "It's not enough," he said quietly. Clara shook her head. "It's more than enough." They thanked her again and again before disappearing into the snow. Clara cleared the table, unfolded the bill, and froze. It wasn't money. It was a handwritten note with a simple sentence: "Kindness always returns home." She sighed, unsure what that meant, and locked up the diner as midnight bells rang somewhere far away. Morning light spilled weakly into Clara's tiny apartment, waking her to the sound of knocking, sharp, insistent. Her heart jumped rent. She pulled on a sweater and opened the door. 2 men in black coats stood there, serious, polished, completely out of place in the narrow hallway. Panic rose in her throat. "Clara Evans," one asked. She nodded. "We'd like you to come with us." Her stomach dropped. She grabbed her bag, mind racing through unpaid bills and broken rules. Outside, 5 black SUVs lined the street, engines humming. Neighbors peeked through curtains. Clara's legs nearly gave out. She was driven not to a station, but to a sunlit estate on the edge of the city. Inside, warmth wrapped around her like a forgotten dream. And there, standing by a grand window, were the old man and woman from the diner, no longer bent, no longer small. They were dressed elegantly, eyes bright, smiles wide. "Please, don't be afraid," the woman said, stepping forward. "We wanted to see you again." The man nodded. "Last night, we weren't pretending to be poor," he said gently. "We often go out without our name, without our wealth, to remember the world as it truly is." Clara could barely breathe. They told her everything, how they'd lost faith in people after years of being valued only for money. How her kindness, given freely when she had nothing, reminded them what wealth was meant for. The woman took Clara's hands. "You fed us when you were hungry yourself," she said. "That is rare." A folder was placed in Clara's lap. Inside were documents ownership of the diner, paid in full, a scholarship fund in her name, a housing deed. Clara's vision blurred. "I can't," she began, but the man stopped her. "You already did," he said. "You gave without asking. This is not charity. It is balance." That evening, Clara stood behind the diner counter again. But this time, the neon sign outside shone bright and steady. A banner read "Free Christmas Meals, all welcome." As families filled the booths, laughter rising, Clara felt something she hadn't in years. Security, purpose, hope, kindness had returned home.